Hey guys, today I had the pleasure and the privilege to sit down with a dear friend of mine, Mr. Gerald Tan, co-founder of Yummy Bros. It was a real pleasure. We sat down and we unpacked his journey into entrepreneurialism. As a sportsman, as a lover of fast cars, we have a lot in common. Gerald, it was an absolute pleasure, and I hope you guys enjoyed the chat as much as I did. Cheers. GT, Gerald, how are you?
I'm very good. Hey, thanks for having me here, bro.
Listen, it's been such a long time. We'll unpack our story, but the last time you were here, we were doing some sparring and going for runs, and you were kicking my ass out on the Bukit Timah Hill.
I think your version of the story is not true. It's probably you kicking my ass, especially on the boxing side of things.
Yeah, but not when it came to the run. I remember that. But look,
Okay.
I want you to introduce yourself, and then we'll unpack our friendship and our journey over the years. But if you can give a quick intro as to who you are, please.
Okay, sure. So my name is Gerald. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Yummy Bros. We are in the business of making the process of dieting and healthy eating an enjoyable one. Because it's really difficult to diet and to eat healthy, regardless of what your goals are, whether it's to improve your health or to lose weight. So we make it enjoyable by making it super customizable. You can choose what proteins, what carbs, and what veggies you want in your bento box.
Yes.
You can choose the portion size as well. We make it very convenient because we deliver it straight to your doorstep. You can keep it in your refrigerator, reheat anytime you want to eat. And most importantly, we take all the stuff that people love, like your chicken rice, your nasi lemak, even your cheeseburger, and we make healthy versions of this. So that's how we help people to enjoy the process of dieting.
You know what's funny, mate, is you just bumped into our last podcast guest, and then we were talking about it, and he said that he doesn't get time to cook much. And I said, you're coming on the show. And he was familiar, firstly, with the brand, right? And then when you walked in the door, that you'd already met him. So it shows how small a world it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I think I'm very lucky because I got to meet a lot of people, and I think a lot of things that I learned from you actually helped me to maintain those relationships and friendships that I have.
I love it. Yeah. Well, look, before we get started, as a celebration of your journey, right, in business and our friendship, I've got 2 cigars.
Okay.
So I know you don't smoke cigars. So what I'm going to do, there's a few different ways. You can either punch it or clip it, but this is a larger cigar. So I'm going to, if I may do this for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to clip it. So I'll take the end of the cigar there. And then what you can do is when you have something like this, just give it a smell, right? And then you can suck on it just to get a little bit of the draw.
Well, which side do you suck on?
This one.
This one?
Yeah, that was cut. So you just give it a nice smell, right? And then you just pull it through to see what the draw is like. And then what I'll do is I'll light it for you, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
But the one thing I was telling you off camera that I love about smoking a cigar, it's what I love to call a commitment of time between friends. Or if you're doing a meeting with a client, so you sit down, and if you have a cigar like this, you know it could last 45 minutes to an hour, but it completely changes the body language and the way that the person feels about the conversation. And then you enjoy it. So I hope you enjoy this, brother.
Yeah,
so
I smell coffee when I was sniffing it just now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in fact, when I went to Cuba, on that trip that I told you, I went to Miami. So I went to go and see Patrick Bet-David speak in Miami. It was a brilliant conference. And I went to Cuba from there, and they make everything on site. It's farm to table. So the coffee beans, the cigars, the fruit, it was really a great experience. Please.
So I hold it like this, right?
Yeah, just hold it however you feel comfortable.
Okay.
So why don't you tell the audience in a minute? I'll let you get started on that. Yeah, and after you get to the second, third, fourth pull, you'll get a nice taste and a flavor of the aroma. But I've just got a feeling that this introduction will be something that becomes a lifelong pleasure to you.
Yeah, it will.
You know? So why don't you tell the guys, let's start off with, we'll get to how we met in a minute. So growing up in Singapore, are you from a humble family?
I would say I was from a middle-class family.
Okay.
Yeah, I had strict parents, which made me even more rebellious. Yeah, but it's the typical Singapore family lah.
Yeah.
What I have. Yeah, my parents were doing insurance. They worked in the bank for a little while. A typical thing. Made me study hard in school. Whoop me if I fail. It's a very normal family.
Yeah. And then what did you study at school, at uni?
So I went to SIM, which is just near here.
Down the road, yeah.
Yeah, I studied economics and management. So it's like a double degree lah. Yeah.
And when did you know? Because when I met you, I could tell within, I don't know, 10 minutes, this guy's a future businessman. Just the energy, the confidence. But when did you start thinking about that as part of your journey?
When I was a primary school kid, that means around 9-10 years old, right? I already enjoy creative stuff. Like I like painting, I like drawing, and I like getting people around. I like organizing stuff, planning stuff. So that gave me this idea that I wanted to be somewhat of like a creator. I want to create my own organization, my own group of friends, my own product, and then eventually my own wealth lah. I thought it was very important that I was a self-creator.
Did your parents, were they involved in that journey, or you didn't really talk about it? Keep puffing on that every now and then, keep it alive.
Yes, they were very much involved, especially my mom.
Okay.
I think the conversations that we had, they were very realistic and practical lah. Is this going to make money or not? Like, are you really going to have a future or not? I mean, as with most Asian parents, right, they are concerned about just one thing only. Next time you got enough money to have a roof over your head, got enough money to get married, have kids, or even retire lah. So that's what my parents were concerned with lor. And to be frank, I couldn't answer all those questions in my early stage of entrepreneurship. It was very difficult because nothing was going on ma. Yeah, I was failing. I think I was a failure for like at least 4 to 5 years.
Academically, you mean? You were struggling?
Sorry, with entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
Well, let's go back a little bit. So tell the guys how we met, because you were an intern initially with me.
So in my second year of uni, I had to go and find an internship lah. It was optional for my school, but I just thought that it was important for me to get some work experience before I get out there. Whether it's working for a corporation or doing my own business, right? It's important for you to have some work experience, at least know how to do some basic stuff lah. And that was why I went to look for internship, and my school recommended Naysayers to me.
Amazing.
Yeah. I wanted to do sales. I knew that sales was a thing that I could potentially be good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I went for the interview, I still remember I had a very bad tummy ache before the interview, man.
Really?
Yeah, I went to take a big dump at like Raffles MRT before meeting you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what your memory was, and I'll share what my memory was of our first meetings. And
okay, so I think preparation is very important. I can't remember who I learned this from, but before anything, right, it's very important to be prepared. So I took a week to go and research about what Naysayers was doing, and I was like, oh damn, this is recruitment. I thought I was here for a sales job, man. Okay, but never mind. Let's do the research, and I think it's important that I share with you what I currently know about Naysayers and the industry that the company was in. So I went to do a presentation PowerPoint deck. I think it was like 4 to 5 slides.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did that, everything, and I was very confident for the interview.
Yeah.
But 1 hour before that, right, I had like this damn bad stomach ache. Yeah. So that time I was just a student, so okay, take train to Raffles Place. Cannot. I went to take a damn big shit at the Raffles Place MRT toilet.
I didn't know that. You should have come to my office and done one there, man.
Don't want. So embarrassing. Imagine go and see your future boss and then like, sorry, I need to take a shit first before the interview. Yeah, so I went to take a dump.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when you first shook my hand, I was like sweaty, I washed my hands.
I hope so.
I assure you, I did wash my hands. Yeah. Then the first time I met you, right, I was like, wow, this guy is so dynamic. Singaporeans say animated lah. But what I mean by dynamic, right, is that how come you're so well versed in so many topics? Like we can talk about sports, right? And you knew more about basketball than me.
Did I?
You knew more about Michael Jordan than me. I think you schooled me during the interview. You asked me like, so which high school was Michael Jordan from?
You went to Wilmington, yeah. Went to Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes, I only remember North Carolina, but I never remember his high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know all these things, and I was just amazed. This person has got so much general knowledge. And
do you think that's the key also to sales and communication? That's got to be one of the keys, right? That you can connect with anyone about anything.
I think people buy partly because of logic, but a huge part is due to the emotional reasons for saying yes. So yeah, Having good general knowledge allows you to connect with people at a much deeper level. Makes it easier to close sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, people buy from who they like.
I remember when I met you,
Yeah.
it was like within 10 minutes, I thought, this guy's a tornado. Yeah, he just full of energy, a lot of questions, confident. I would say assertive, not aggressive, but you were almost aggressive, which I loved, by the way. And I just thought I saw, but the thing is I think one of the things I've learned over the years, I've always believed I've had, maybe because my job is a recruiter, but as a business owner, is talent, right? But there's different types of talent. There are people that are very shy, introverts. There are people that are very good technically. And I met you, I just thought, listen, I just point you in any direction and you're going to go and you're going to carry the ball and run with it. But it was a great, I loved working with you, you know, and you always challenged me, you always had ideas. I remember I gave the goal to see if my memory is correct or the same as yours. I gave you all a goal to come up with some new rebuttals and objections and credibility statements. And this was my memory because I don't often remember what people tell me, but you cracked me up with this one. You called a banker, a private banker from Credit Suisse, and you said, look, think about it. You're basically Brad Pitt.
All right.
Yeah, is it? Am I right?
Yeah.
And
you want me to tell us the
you tell the
pitch?
story. You tell the story.
So Mr. Private Banker.
Yeah.
I want you to just imagine that you're Brad Pitt. Okay. And you know who Brad Pitt was married to, right? She was married to Jennifer Aniston.
Yes.
I mean, would you agree that she's one of the finest women in the world?
100%.
Yes, right? So I want you to imagine that you are Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston is your current bank right now. Okay? And one day, Brad Pitt meets Angelina Jolie, right? And the rest is history. So what I'm trying to do, right, is to help you ascertain whether my client bank can be your Angelina or not.
I absolutely loved it. When you said I was in stitches, I was absolutely in stitches. And the other thing about you is, well, I don't know if people that don't know you intimately, that just know you casually, they don't know in your DNA, in your heart, you're a fighter, right? And I don't say that often. You know, we'll talk about your sporting career journey, but what I mean by that is when you get a no, you find a way to come back. So one night you had a very rude banker. We went out for some pints of Guinness, and you said, you know what, Paul, I'm going to call him back. And I said, no, don't call him back now. It's late. And you've had a pint, and you go, no, I'm going to call him back now. And you call him, and you on the phone to the guy for an hour, and you said, I converted him. I got him in. Do you remember that?
I remember.
And then I said, good man, now let's have a few more pints and enjoy the evening. But I remember that.
Oh, funny. I don't remember the people that gave me the no's, but I did remember that the banker that got my Brad Pitt thingy. I remember his name.
You do?
I think for PDA purposes.
We won't mention it.
Yeah.
What were some of your takeaways from your time with me? What are some of the things that you feel that you learned along the way? I'm curious.
So my experience with Naysayers, I will credit that to my personal growth. It's more from a character development standpoint. You're right that I'm a fighter, but I think some things just needs to be done intelligently. You can't use brute force all the time. So what I learned from you was that I have to engineer all my outcomes. You don't just force your way through. So you need to be very strategic in how to get to the yes. And it's through all the objections, rebuttals to the objections that taught me all this. So that there must be a systematic way, right, to getting to the yes.
Yes.
And I think this is a very important lesson for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, because a lot of the guys that have worked with me always say, look, you need to learn the essence of a script. But really, once you've learned that, you have to be able to reduce it. So if I say bar, black, it's sheep, have you any wool? It's an outline of a script. But then the next stage is to learn the bullet points and to condense it, right? And I think that's something you did very well and very naturally.
Okay, so if I were to turn back time and work for you again, right? I think the most important thing is to understand what is the intent of my job. The intent of my job has to match with your company's overall goal, which is we want to get this guy to resign and join our client's company, right? So my intent is to get this person interested in the opportunity. That's all I need to remember. Then everything should follow the intent.
Yeah.
The bullet points, etc. It should just be working towards the intent. I think that simplifies things a lot.
Yeah.
I think that you need to be a bit of a big picture thinker. understand what your intent, company's objectives, and your goals are.
Yeah.
And then everything will fall into place. If you're too much of a on-the-ground person, you fuss with too much of the details, you wonder whether you should use a present tense or past tense for that, right? Then I think life is going to be very difficult for you, especially in a sales job.
I agree. Now, before we go into the rest of your career and when it really took flight as an entrepreneur, how important has sports and health been in your career? Because I think it's so important in so many ways, not just because of the basis of your business, which is nutrition, but just in all areas of your life. Talk about that, because this is something we have in common.
So, when you go to the gym, if you want to grow, you need this thing called progressive overload, right? You basically need to be doing either more volume or more weight every single week. You're trying to become stronger. And you can only do that through failure, which means literally you fail on the bench press, you fail on a barbell squat. So this lesson is something that I've brought over to my career also.
I love that.
If you don't fail, right, you're not going to grow. And failure involves pain, both physically and emotionally. Of course, your ego will take a hit if you fail. Yeah, but I think it's very important to look past the emotional cost of failure. Yeah, and just go through it, lor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in short, I think determination is one thing that I get from sports, fitness, and health that you can bring over to your career. Is it the same for you?
It's, at the very core of who I am is, because, you have different types of martial artists. You have those that are athletes, those if you look at Mike Tyson, I think he's a fighter, right? What I mean by that, is he an athlete in the context of boxing? Yes, but I don't think he necessarily could have taken his skill set and applied it to many different sports. So the core so the way I think of it is this, is I have the mindset of an entrepreneur, the body of an athlete, right? The soul of an artist, and really the heart of a fighter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you're very similar because you and I are interested in many different things. So I think 100% how that guides you, drives you. And the other thing that I find really interesting is when you do martial arts and boxing, firstly, you get your ass handed every day in training.
Yes.
It may or may not be that the guy's better than you. It could be that you're on your fifth round and they're on the first round. But the point is you lose more often than you win. And it's not really about who's better, it's what's better. Is it died out?
I think so.
So just what
should I
do, just spark it.
Okay.
And hold it there. And pull that there. I'll let you do it.
All right.
No problem. So I think that is central to progress. And I like what you explained, because when you're in the gym and in theory, you're failing every day. But I quote Muhammad Ali when they say, how many sit-ups do you do? And then he said, well, I don't know, a bit more. I think a bit more.
I think I need your help on this.
Yeah.
So just keep doing it, yeah?
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll get you started. He says he only starts counting. He only starts counting the sit-ups when it hurts.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I heard David Goggins say this the other day, that he said, my day begins when yours ends. Right? And he was training with Israel Adesanya, and Israel Adesanya was chucking up after a training session together. It was quite interesting. What I also wanted to talk a little bit about was, if you think a little bit about self-belief and confidence, when you wanted to go into entrepreneurship, did you have a lot of naysayers, a lot of people negatively that were saying, mate, I don't know if you should do this, you should go the conventional route. Give that a puff, otherwise it will die again. Okay. Yeah.
I think when it comes to this, right, I'm delusional. I did have naysayers.
Yeah. It's important, by the way, sometimes, because you've got that belief so much. Everyone, is it delusion or is it confidence?
I think it's part delusion, part confidence.
Agreed.
I would say that I was a bit delusional because back then I was much younger, 24, 25 years old.
How old are you now?
I'm 37 this year.
Really?
Hey, actually, we don't look like we have age.
Well, listen, I have, mate. You still got all your hair, bro.
No, I don't think you have age. I mean, physically, I don't see much.
Oh, you're very kind. I'll be 50 in a couple of years, mate.
When I worked for you, you were 34.
I'm 37. I'm 47 now.
47.
Yeah. But I still fit. I think I'm 14 most of the time.
Same. I think I'm 12 up here sometimes.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's important to have fun. Sometimes,
you have to.
Yeah, I enjoy thinking like a kid.
So when you hear those naysayers, you just don't
yeah.
even listen to them, right?
So it was delusional because I was still young, so I thought I had nothing to lose. And confidence also because I think through things a lot, and I plan very deliberately. I think this was something that the army taught me, how to plan deliberately, down to every detail, have a contingency. So it was 50-50, yeah. But when it comes to the naysayers, to be frank, I don't even remember who they are because I just choose to ignore them.
Good man. They're in your rearview mirror. You don't need to think about them.
Yeah. I think the only time when a naysayer is somebody I need to take seriously is like a loved one that I can trust. Like when my mom asked me the question of like, can this sustain? Can this feed you in the future? That's something that you got to listen to, man. So I think the only naysayers that I would really listen to are my parents. Yeah. Okay. But I must say that I'm also quite lucky to have a lot of friends who believe in me, lah.
Yes.
So I think for every budding entrepreneur, right, there will be two groups of people. Number one, the naysayers, and number two, there will definitely be friends. So why don't you go and focus your time and energy on them? Just listen to what they have to say.
Yeah.
Not the naysayers, lah.
But what's interesting is I said this to my daughter the other day about friends. I said you have many friends that are like leaves, a big gust of wind and they're gone. And then you have other friends that are branches and they'll be around, for a few seasons and they're pretty tough. But then you will have your roots and they'll be with you forever. But the reality is there are very, very few roots. And let's talk about like your marriage to your wife because from what I've observed, she's in your corner big time and you're in hers and you celebrate each other.
Yes.
Is that a correct observation?
Correct.
Tell me about that.
So when I was, I had total of 3 startups. Yummy Bros is the third one, the successful one. The first 2 were shit.
Third time lucky, bro. That's why, mate.
Yeah. So I think I was drawing only like 1,500 per month. If it was a good month, I would take maybe say 2K. So I couldn't really afford rent. We were staying in a place in the east because she had to be near the airport. So she paid for rent. And when we went out for dinners, she would pay. So I'm very lucky lah. But I got no idea why she like had this crazy amount of confidence in me though. Like she knew that I would make it. And when we were discussing marriage with her mom, she did tell her mom lah that I'm very confident this guy will turn out to be someone one day lah.
My take is this. Yeah. Well, first I think it comes from you, mate, because you're all in. You are all in. You double down. You don't give a shit. You're all in everything that you've done. So I think that will come from you. But also she has to be perceptive and she has to love you. So I said this to my son the other day, is that when you meet someone relatively young, it's different if you're in your 50s. But if you meet a partner fairly young, she'll basically see 2 versions of you, the person you are today and the person that you want to be in the future.
Correct.
And she has to buy into both of them. And she has to believe in your dream as much as you do, sometimes even more. Like, I think I believe more in my wife than she does in herself. Right? There have been times where my wife has, and she's always in my corner, but there have been times where she's not sure or whatever, or I ask my mum. And so my 2 biggest heroes are my wife, number one, and my mum. And when I ask them about business, typically when they say, don't do it, then I do it. And not because I'm being obtuse, because they're not business people. They don't see it. So I'm the kind of guy, if I'm driving around a bend in a car, I'll accelerate into the corners.
Oh, same.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got to have that kind of crazy attitude. And you got to believe in it, because when it's your money and your name's on the line, you have to be all in.
Correct. I think later on in life, when you really make it ready, right, it's very important to remember what your partner has done for you in terms of support. So it's very important to pay back in multiple folds. Yeah. So you don't. I mean, I'm not asking you to be going calculative. Or last time you pay for rent, last time you pay for this dinner. No, it's like you start to give this person as much as you can, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I try to pay every single time we go out. Yeah, and I also spend more time with her. Because, when you're starting up a business, there's a lot of sacrifice you're going to make. Yeah, and time with her was one of them.
Yeah.
So now I do what I can to spend as much time as I can with my wife.
Yeah. It's important. The funny thing is, so my wife, she's Fulbright scholar, got a PhD from Yale. And a lot of the people say to me, hey, you married the smart one, and of course I did. But people forget that when she was doing her 2 masters, her PhD, I'm there with the kids. I'm there every night when she's drifting off, studying, and that's what a real relationship is.
Yeah.
So I always also say what I've learned about business is also within the business, if you have a running mate, someone that they could be the yin to your yang. It could be someone like in my business, I've got Isaac. He's there fighting every day with me, and I think one of the things in business. So one of my partners, business partners, and very good friends is a guy called Neil Bullock, and I had this conversation with him recently. I said, look, I know that if I had guests arriving at the airport and I couldn't make it, that you would be there, you would be respectful, you would look after them, you would take care of them. I know that if I was not in the room and someone was saying something negative about me, that you would protect my honor, and you would say, actually, that's not the case. And that I find is missing a lot, where people don't back you up. It's when you're not there and what they're saying behind closed doors, when you're not there, that's when you know they're a really good friend.
Yeah.
I'm just curious now, when you look back at your entrepreneurial journey, are there any pivotal moments when you basically said to yourself, no, this is what I'm going to do? Like, because for me, I know there was a point where I said, no, this is what I want and when I want it. I'm just curious, was there any one moment that stands out?
Are you asking me about when did I know my venture would be successful?
No. When you knew that you really were not going to become a corporate guy.
I
know
see.
you said that you were thinking about it when you were 12, or when you were a youngster, but when you knew, like was it when you were at uni, when you were working with me? Was it only after the first failed venture?
Okay, it was when I became a personal trainer. Yeah, so how personal training works is, okay, if let's say you're with a company, they give you a basic salary, and then they pay you for every session that you run. And there's also a sales commission for every package that you close. But that actually taught me the concept of passive income. So if I were to continue doing this personal training thing, right, I know that if one day I fall sick, or if I just want to go on a holiday, or I just don't feel like working, then I don't earn.
Yeah.
Maybe I get that mere bit of basic salary, but it's not going to be a life that I want.
Yeah.
So okay, I can be a little bit materialistic, and I know that for me to get the material wants, I need a form of passive income. So my journey as a personal trainer was actually one of the pivotal points that told me, I got to do this entrepreneurship thing.
I love that. You're right. And it then takes a little bit of courage, but having that foresight. But I think because you learned that very early on,
yes,
it shaped everything for you.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about some of the inner principles and patterns, and I'll explain why. So one of my favorite books on finance is written by a guy called Ray Dalio.
Yes.
And it's called Principles.
Principles, yes.
Yeah, you've brilliant. I love that you know it. He talks about financial patterns, but I always look back at all patterns. So for example, if you're a sports person and you realize, I keep getting injured. Why? Where? Unpack it. Not getting enough sleep, not hydrated. I'm not doing proper strength and conditioning. Maybe I'm overstretching or not doing that. You know what I mean? And in business and in the career, a lot of the people blame. I had this bad boss. I had this bad scenario. And that might partly be true. But I think it's very important to identify patterns in one's career, in their journey, and especially what are central to you. So what are some of the patterns you've observed in yours?
This reminds me of a quote. You cannot change the world. You can only change yourself. So the pattern that I keep trying to fall back to, right, is that I am the master of my destiny.
Love it.
So I have to, like what I learned from Naysayers, engineer every step of the way. So at the end of the day, right, if this opportunity becomes a success or a failure, right, it's my fault and nobody else. Yeah. So I take full responsibility. So to me, this is, I think, a very important pattern. You should take full responsibility. Well, if you look at the word responsibility, it can be broken down into 2 different words, right? It's response and ability. So being responsible, right, is having the ability to respond. Not react, that's different. Yeah. So I think if you want to be a responsible individual, right, you got to engineer every step of the way.
100%.
It's nobody's fault.
100%. And I think it's so important, and I love what you just said. Before you can master anything else, you've got to be able to master yourself, your emotions, what you're good at, what you're not good at, how do you improve? Because a lot of people don't. They turn up to work, they expect different results, but you have to apply science, logic, new training development. Talk about starting Yummy Bros. What was the spark that led to it? Okay.
So after my 2 failures, I knew that I only had one more left in the tank. Yeah, it's just like a retiring athlete, right? Just one more season. Yeah. So for me, it was just one more try. And if this fails, right, okay, I'll go find a job, corporate job.
Yeah.
And that was the main motivation.
How old were you guys when you set up Yummy Bros?
Oh damn, I was 30 years old already.
Yeah.
So 30 years old, I was earning next to nothing.
By the way you said it was like you were very old. A lot of listeners will be saying you were still a young man, but I know what you mean because you've been slogging away for all those years.
Correct. And also in the context of Singapore, if you are not earning the mean income, right, at that particular age,
you're behind. You feel you're behind.
Something's wrong, right? So of course, society will still have pressure on you, but it's up to you to separate that from yourself, that emotion. So I was 30. I have already proposed to my then fiance. I was like,
I'm gonna check that out. We'll keep going. We'll keep rolling.
I think I should repeat what I just said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was 30 and I already proposed to my then fiance. So I really need to succeed in this. Just one last try. For my co-founders, for them, they just didn't like what they were doing in life. Yeah, one of them was...
Were they your friends?
They were my gym friends.
Okay.
Yeah, so we share the squat rack all the time. We share the benches all the time.
So how did you guys come together and you say, hey, this is an idea?
We went out to do victim mode one of the nights. So we basically bought beers and we were like blaming the world for everything. Bad habit. Then
that is a bad habit. That a lot of people.
Bad habit.
I don't know if you've noticed this. There are a couple of friends I used to have that did it all the time, and I'd leave the evening depressed. And I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, very bad. But okay, I mean, once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Never mind. Yeah.
So we were out being victims one evening, and we were like, let's slap ourselves awake, and let's figure out what we can do with our lives. And it was just over a 1 or 2 hour beer session, right? That we came out with the idea for meal prep. We didn't even know that it was called meal prep back then. Yeah, we just wanted to do like healthy food that we like, that fits our gym goals. And the word Yummy Bros, the name Yummy Bros, right, was because we were just a bunch of gym bros wanting to do some yummy stuff together. So that was how Yummy Bros came about. People thought that it was a porn site, you know that?
Why? Because they know you, or why?
Yeah, so we registered the domain straight away.
I love it.
Yeah, it was so cheap, man. Like $24 a year. I was like, yeah, bloody hell. Let's quickly
go.
Get it.
But by the way, one of the books that I've recently read is Millionaire Weekend. And basically the whole concept is just start. Because as soon as you register that domain, now the intent is real. You've stepped in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people won't do it. They'll say $24, but a lot of people won't do it.
Yeah, see how lah. Tomorrow
and then,
lah.
Yeah, and then back at your desk job the next day. No.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I just want to know, just as you were starting off the venture, did you immediately think, okay, these are the things I've learned from the first 2 failed businesses, and I need to make sure that we don't make these mistakes again?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that thought process.
Okay. I think the biggest mistake, right, was chasing the wrong things. So in my first 2 startups, I did not chase a large enough addressable problem. Yeah, so I basically had startups that weren't solving real problems for the market. And if you don't solve a real problem, you're not going to make any money. So this time, right, we were very focused on the customer. Who are our customers? What are their pain points? And how does our product solve them? Yeah, so that's where all the customizable lah, the convenience lah, and the local flavors are. That is the reason why we have these 3 as our USPs.
I love that. What is the demographic, if like in terms of your client base? Do you have like 3 or 4 different types of core demographic?
Have. So when we started, our beachhead market was actually the bodybuilders because we knew their pain very, very well. every day you got to buy chicken breast, you got to cook it, you got to weigh it, and then you got to portion, clean, day in and day out, you know, and then you just tell yourself, I must be disciplined. Yeah, but you could spend more time in the gym, and less time in the kitchen. So we serve these guys first because we knew, right, that the other folks, which we call it the fitness enthusiasts. So there's this like graph, we call it the diffusion of innovation, right?
Yeah.
So our early adopters were the bodybuilders. Then after that, it was the fitness enthusiasts. And we knew because they want to look like the bodybuilders. So these guys acted as like the influencers, right, to get the fitness enthusiasts on board. Then after that, right, which is like now, we are targeting the general public because the general public wants to look like the fitness enthusiasts.
That's right.
Yeah, so it flows, right? And that's why they call it diffusion of innovation.
I love that.
So that's our customer profile. Now, anybody who wants to eat healthy, anybody who wants to lose weight or gain muscle mass, right, can be our customer.
I love that. Because a lot of people don't know even the whole concept of measuring their macros. And with you, they don't even need to think about it, right?
Correct.
Talk a little bit about the unique mission that you've had with Yummy Bros and what you're trying to solve and what you're trying to do. What's the vision of the business?
So eating healthily is a very painful thing to do because of the lack of knowledge. Some people just don't know how to choose ingredients that are healthy. Some people just don't know how to cook. And some people just don't even know how to handle food. Like they go into the kitchen, the next day got food poisoning because they just don't know how, right?
Yeah.
And it takes up a lot of time, and a lot of Singaporeans are busy with their careers, family building.
Well, most, I don't know what percentage, but most Singaporeans eat, hawker food most nights.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we wanted a solution that food is just there. Within 3 minutes, it's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. And microwave food is so common nowadays.
Yeah.
We just increase the quality of it. That's all.
Yeah.
So having all this value, right? Customizability, taking away the hassle of cooking and weighing your food, and also making it taste good, right? This is what it means to enjoy the process of dieting. So instead of thinking negatively about dieting, right? With Yummy Bros, it becomes a positive sentiment instead.
I'm curious if you've seen this, you've observed the people that you feel truly believed in you throughout the process to the point where you guys eclipsed the $1 million mark. I think it was after 3 years, was it?
Within 2.5 years.
Okay,
we did it,
which is amazing. When that happened, obviously people may not have known that, but all of a sudden when you guys were becoming successful, did you think, some of these guys are now saying, oh yeah, I thought you could do it, but realistically, those guys didn't believe in you. Did you have in your own mind, these are real people that have been in my corner, and these are guys that just superficial?
So when the $1 million thing happened, I just focused on the people that were in my corner. Yeah, like the naysayers and people who doubted me in the beginning. It's
just noise. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. Delusional.
When you achieved that, did you feel, okay, we're here?
Okay, maybe I'll talk about the moment that we knew Yummy Bros would become something significant. So we started Yummy Bros in my friend's HDB kitchen.
I remember, man. I've seen the pictures. You've got to send me those pictures later. I'll put them up on the podcast.
Yeah, so we were 3 half-naked men inside one 4-room HDB flat, and we were cooking meal prep.
But that's why the porn name might have come to mind.
Yeah,
right?
maybe. Yeah.
3 guys all in shape.
Yeah,
okay.
like a gay porn website, Yeah, so we were doing it all from his home. Anson is the name of my co-founder. Yeah, so we were cooking there, and I built the website from scratch. This is the thing that I'm very lucky. My first 2 startups, right, and also my first job taught me a lot about e-commerce, about digital marketing, how to get consumers online, right? Yes. So that taught me a lot. I managed to build the website all by myself. I was using like a WordPress and WooCommerce kind of a combination. Amazing. So we could just immediately sell online, collect money, collect all delivery details, and then, send the meals over. So when we knew that it was going to work, was we did not have a subscription module. So customers have to come back once a week, go through the trouble of placing an order. So we knew, right, that if the customers were willing to do this, 4 weeks a month for over 1 year, right?
Yeah.
We knew that we have true value.
Yeah.
Because you are still generating customer retention, even though you are intentionally not wanting retention.
Yeah. But that's the goal, is repeatable business, right?
Yeah.
Recurring income.
Correct. And if they have to go through the trouble to give you that repeated business, right, it means that you are truly generating value for them. This was something that my first 2 startups did not have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was when we knew, and from there we wanted to scale.
What a journey.
Yeah.
And how did you, I'm just curious, when you sit down and you were doing it, were you saying this is how much food and produce we're having to buy now? Because you're guessing a little bit, because you don't know what, at the time, what the amount of orders are coming in. Was that difficult to balance?
Okay, maybe I will talk about how we managed to achieve scale. Okay, so after the 1 year mark at Anson's home, we realized that we have hit a limit to the number of meals that we can sell and produce. So that would also mean that there was a limit, right, on how much we can earn. Look, bro, I don't want to be working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and earning that mere, how many thousand?
Yeah.
I want more. So if this is going to continue, right,
It's got to scale.
I'll just go and find a bloody job outside.
Yeah.
Okay. So we thought of setting up our own kitchen. We wanted to get a retail space, and then we slice it into half. So one half, right, is for production.
Yeah.
So all the foods will be cooked there, will be packed for the online orders. And the other half, right, we'll use as retail.
As a shop, yeah.
Yeah, so people can walk in and all. But no matter how much we did the math,
Doesn't work out.
doesn't work out. Like, I don't know, 1-2% profit margin.
Yeah.
And that was with non-conservative numbers.
Yeah.
So, you throw in some scenarios whereby, maybe this period of the year, sales are down. Hey, you're screwed, man. So we almost threw in the flag until one day a friend of mine, he was actually a client from my previous failed startup. He runs a blog shop. I don't know whether you're familiar with this term. Okay, so blog shop refers to Singapore website selling women's clothes. Wow, I tell you, big industry.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, women love to shop, and they love to shop online.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, so he told me that, bro, this is how my business works. My wife will design the clothes, and then I will go to China, and I'll find this manufacturer to do it really nice. And whoever that can do it at the best quality and the lowest price, I will buy from them wholesale, and then I mark up 2 to 3 times, and then I sell it to the Singaporean women.
Bang.
And I was like, shit, how can I do this with my food business?
Yeah.
So obviously I can't fly to China and ask a factory there to make the food for me and send it over. So we had this idea of reaching out to caterers. So we'll tell the caterers, look, we have this amount of orders. Okay, I can promise you that within 6 months, this number of orders will grow from here to here. Okay, you will charge me by kilogram of cooked ingredients, and you will charge me a service fee for meticulously packing all my meals, right, according to weight.
Yeah.
So they agreed, and that's how we immediately scaled. Because instantly, right, we were Singapore Food Agency certified, we were halal certified, so we could start running advertisements on Instagram or Google. Yeah, so we just whack
all your problems in one go.
Correct.
Did you go with one particular caterer when outsourcing, or did you use a few?
So we started off with one.
Okay.
And we were with them for about 3 years, and then we branched out to another one. So we have 2 central kitchens that are serving Singapore. We got one on the west, so all the west side customers will get their food.
I was going to say the logistics of it.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant. Is there 100% of what they do is for Yummy Bros, or do they do other businesses as well?
Other businesses also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good for them. It's good for you.
Correct. It's a win-win.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now how do you spend most of your time? Is it on marketing, scaling up the business?
So I think one of the key things about building an F&B business, right, is not to be too focused on just your food. I think a lot of F&B entrepreneurs, they fall into the trap of falling in love with their product. So they are just thinking about improving their recipes day in and day out. But they don't realize that running a business is more than just your product. It's your branding, it's your customer service, it's your marketing, it's your logistics, and it's also building your team. So my job, right, is to focus on everything else except the product and the delivery aspect of things, because I've got 2 co-founders to help me with that.
Yeah. How do you split up? What do you guys do? Did it start with working out who's good at what, and then you split up the
Partly, yes. So both of my co-founders, they knew that earlier from the start, right? I was a marketing guy, I was a sales and business development guy, branding guy. So they proactively took up the rest of the stuff, like logistics.
And it just happened.
Yeah.
What has been the key to keeping the business successful with the three of you? Because having a partnership with two people or three people is not easy. It's a lot of balance, different personalities, egos. How do you guys juggle that?
I think the three of us are not very emotional. And when I say that, I don't mean that we are
in a good way,
yeah,
business-wise.
Correct. So when we come and talk about work, we are just talking about business.
Yeah.
There's no point getting your emotions involved. So we are as objective as we can be. Of course, we got feelings, but when we talk about feelings, right, then we don't talk about business all of a sudden. Yeah. So we draw a very thick line.
You know, I don't know if you've heard this, but if you haven't, it's a good one. You'll find it funny. So Dana White and the original two owners of the UFC, they had built into their contract, if they ever had a dispute, they'd have a jiu-jitsu face-off.
Oh, that's very good.
And basically, whoever loses the argument.
Oh, that's very good.
But it's just a bit of fun, right?
Yeah, but so how many jiu-jitsu matches?
I don't think, I'm guessing they probably didn't have any, but if you had the same, or if you swung it to your way in terms of 3-pointers on a basketball court, or, bench press or something, it'd be quite funny, right?
Yeah.
You haven't done a contract.
Yeah.
Fuck you, let's go to the court, right?
Yeah.
But I like that. What are the myths in terms of things that are misunderstood about food, right? And healthy food, just from the general public?
I think one big misconception, right, is about how trends work.
What do you mean?
So a few years ago, there was like the keto diet thing.
The dietary trends,
Yeah, dietary trends. But what we do at Yummy Bros, right, is that we don't care whether you're on the keto diet, whether you're on the paleo diet, or the pescatarian diet, the all-fish one, or the eat air only diet, or the drink water only diet. I don't care what diet it is, right? The fundamentals of how your body works is still the same. If you consume lesser calories than you use, you will lose weight.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah, and conversely, you will gain weight.
Have you explained that anywhere to customers, like how they measure their macros versus their output in terms of exercise?
Yes. So we have an automated email chain. So when people sign up for our email newsletters, we give them the lowdown on, actually, this is how your body works.
Yeah.
So we don't care what diet you are on, as long as it meets these core principles.
Yeah. Talk about the food landscape, because it's very overcrowded.
Food landscape.
How do you guys do that? Because, it's so competitive. How are you guys going out and beating the competition?
I think it's very important to have a bunch of USPs, not just one, but you need to have a bunch of them. So customizability is one of ours.
Okay.
Short delivery time frames is one of ours. Excellent customer service is another one. You need to stack up all your USPs.
Yeah.
I think too many entrepreneurs, they just bank on that one USP and they think it's going to work.
Yeah.
We call it the 10x rule. You have to be 10 times better than your competitor or your indirect competitor in order for them to switch to you. Because you need to remember there's this thing called switching costs. Yeah. So how we did it was we stack up all of our USPs, affordability, great taste.
Yeah.
You have to be obsessive on being good almost everywhere.
Do you, how often will you put new food on the menu?
Every 2 weeks, we will launch something new.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the produce, where are you getting it from? Are they wholesalers? How does that work?
So because we outsource our food production,
they take care of that end.
They take care of that.
Really? So yours is minimalized. It's
Correct.
a very efficient business.
We just tell them we want this brand and this product.
Wow.
It must be specifically this brand because we have calculated the nutritional values all according to that particular item.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So how has your view on leadership matured over the course of your journey?
So last time, I used to be very lead by example. Nowadays, I become more lead by learning. So I like to learn from my colleagues.
Yes.
Before I actually give them a direction. I want to learn how they work. I want to learn what they're good at. I want to learn what they're weak at. And then from there, I can give them a better direction. Because the job of a leader, right, is to tell your guys, right, you are going this way.
Yeah.
And the reason why you pick this way, right, must be because of your team's capability paired with your company's vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm more of a learn by leadership, lead by learning now rather than lead by example.
No, that's brilliant. It's a lesson for all of us. You guys have pulled together a great team, but I'd imagine as the business has grown, the team has evolved, people might have changed. Talk a little bit about loyalty and finding the right staff, because that's not easy. It's probably the biggest challenge in business.
I think for me, people who need to be loyal, right, are my co-founders. Besides that, I think it's very important to accept that nowadays loyalty is not a very common commodity. So just like back to my that quote, right? You cannot change the world, you can only change yourself.
Yeah.
So how are you going to try and engineer a bit of that loyalty, but at the same time, right, if people choose not to be loyal, what are your contingency plans? So that's how I handle things.
When one of the things I used to love about you, I mean, look, you were so new with me in your life journey and business. You made mistakes. We all do. But the one thing about you is you embraced your mistakes. I wouldn't say you owned up. You embraced them. You said, Paul, I fucked up. This is what happened. I said, okay, let's unpack that. Let's look at it. How do you encourage that in your team, and how has that whole learning process been for you?
I mean, people make mistakes, right? And if it's the first time, I'm happy to forgive, and I'm happy to coach and try and help this person not make the same mistake again.
Yeah.
But if the mistake happens again, then it's a sign of negligence.
Yeah.
And I think negligence should not be tolerated so much. So that's my approach to mistakes. So like for myself, if I make a mistake multiple times and it's the same mistake, right?
Yeah.
I don't give myself an easy time because it's negligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, get your shit together, man.
You need to.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced in building the business, right? The key ones with Yummy Bros, because you dealt with COVID. Now, was that good or bad for the business?
Oh, good.
I know.
Yeah.
So tell us about that, because you're one of the few industries where COVID actually was probably music to your ears.
Yes. Okay, so when COVID happened, the orders, bam, like went up mad, man. Like we were doubling sales every month.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then so we had this circuit breaker thingy, right? So I told my co-founders and my employees, do not spend your money yet.
Yeah. Because
we have no idea what's going to happen after this whole CB thing is over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
good advice.
Yeah, hold on to your money. Don't go out there, buy a car, buy a house, and just exercise some restraint. So once the circuit breaker was lifted, I was like, okay, I think it's time to pack it in lah. We'll probably, go somewhere. At least I've got some cash to last me. But the business continued to grow.
Amazing.
And I think it was because of all the USPs that we stack on top of it, and also the fundamental problem that we are solving, right?
Yeah.
It's not that people can't go out. That's not the problem that we're solving. The problem that we're solving is dieting's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are solving that, and people will pay for that. So I guess the business just kept growing.
You know what was interesting with COVID? I always was saying to people, listen, you're going to come out of this either a chunk or a hunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I used it as, because the way I saw it was, I mean, actually when one or two people could go back into the office, I was going back in every day because I was paying rent, right? And I wanted that solitude, a way to focus. But I wasn't traveling for an hour and a half anymore every day. So that meant I had an hour and a half in the gym.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, I've got home help and that helped. But I got back to my fighting weight. And but yeah, I can see how it would have really been great for your business.
Oh yeah, I remember that you became very lean.
Yeah, you wrote a comment once. You said, "Wow, you become very lean." Yeah. And look, as you know, it was because I was always exercising, but it was the diet, and the additional bit of exercise. So the additional cardio on top of doing what I was doing, because I was doing cardio twice a day.
Wow.
Right. Not necessarily for that long, but during COVID, I was doing cardio twice a day, and I was working out 6 days a week, and actually got a bit too much. I got a bit too lean.
Oh.
Right. Because what I realized is, hey, I'm in my 40s now. I was comparing myself to when I used to fight, and I was comparing myself to that kind of weight, but I'm bigger.
But when you were too lean, right, were there any
There were some
side effects that you felt?
Yeah. You're gonna laugh. My libido was down.
Oh no. But yeah, it's natural.
But which I hadn't experienced before. But the biggest one was it was strength.
Yeah.
It was strength, and I don't know if I told you this, but I had a major injury. I was bench pressing, and I was bench pressing 140 kg, and my shoulder dislocated. I tore the pec off my bone, but after that, my goal was I want to be in the top 1% of the world. There's a strength calculator online in nearly all the lifts or exercises, be it push-ups, pull-ups. This impacted everything. But what I found interesting was, are you okay? You sparked out?
I suck at this.
Yeah?
I don't suck
No.
Yeah.
But I was then looking at doing, I'm glad that you said that. You have to just lift this one up.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I prided myself on doing that, and now I'm the heaviest I've ever been.
Oh.
So like doing pull-ups and stuff now takes a little bit more effort. Do you know what I mean? Talk a little bit about the risks of your business, right? Because now with, this is an impact on just food prices going up generally. And if your prices are going up, do you have to explain to the consumer why they're going up?
Yes. In fact, we have done only 2 price revisions over the course of the 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, only 2.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so actually talking about price, if your cost increases, right, it's naturally that everybody's cost will increase as well. Because it's an industry level thing.
Yeah.
But if I talk about the real risks of my business, right, it's things like food poisoning. Like customer gets a bad meal, food has gone bad.
Yeah.
So all these things are what's dangerous about my industry, lah. So there has to be a well thought out way on how to manage these kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for proprietary reasons, I won't say it here because some people try and take advantage of the system.
Of course.
Yeah, but there are ways that we actually deal with people who claim that they have food poisoning. But up to today, we don't have one. But that's what I mean by it's always important to have contingencies.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're being paranoid, but you care about the company, and you care about your customers, right?
Yeah.
So you must have contingencies for every shit show that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, fortunately, in Singapore, we're not part of a litigious society where people sue everyone. But in the US, man, it's crazy. Let's just talk about your motivation, right? Because going back to the guy that I first met, it was very obvious for me you were very motivated. And what I loved about you were up for everything. So I said, listen, do you want to work out together? Yeah, absolutely. You were doing Muay Thai at a time. You were experimenting. It was one of your passions. But where does that come from? What's your reason why?
Okay, as a younger man, my motivation was learning. I was just very hungry to learn. Every single thing that has a learning opportunity, I would say yes to it. Then after that in life, the motivation was material ones. But of course, that started from the basic things. I just want to draw a proper salary. Like at age 30, I'm earning less than half of what my peers were earning.
Yeah.
So I just want a proper income, god damn it. Okay, so that was it. Then slowly, I want a little bit of luxury. I want to be able to walk into LV and buy anything I want. I always wanted to fulfill my dreams of driving a sports car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
like
went to do that.
By the way, you see, one of the things I was going to say to you is that there's a lot of envy in life. And, win, lose, or draw with the people that I care about, I'll always say, look, well done, congrats. Or if you lose a fight, don't worry about it, mate. Dust yourself off, come back.
Yeah.
But what I like to see with you is when I can see you've had some wins and you've rewarded yourself.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's good. I mean, I can't do it anymore. After I moved to the US, because I had a lot of sports cars. So my first one in Singapore was an Alfa Romeo GT. And then I think I had what did I have? I think I had a Maserati Gran Turismo.
I see.
Then I had a couple
remember
of Porsches.
that you put a down payment for an R8.
I didn't collect the car. I lost $5,000 because I dropped. It was $500,000.
Yeah,
I dropped half, and I went out for lunch with the local hawker, and I came back. I go, honey, I've just bought this beautiful car. I'm gonna name it Darth Vader.
I remember this story.
Yeah, and she goes, "Oh, that's nice. How much did it cost?" And I like, $500,000. She goes, "You what?" And I said, "Oh." And then I thought, okay. And I was getting better. You know, I love my cars.
Yeah.
But when was that? When were you working with me? How old would I have been?
So that was around 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this story very distinctively because I like cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of different Porsches, and then I had an Aston Martin Vantage. But then, and I always had a Jeep or a 4x4. I had a Prado for a long time that I loved.
A Jeep?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I moved to the US, and then you see what is a normal price of a car, you can't rationalize it.
Correct.
You know, and it's just, you know, I guess if you live in Singapore forever and you're doing okay, you're okay with that. But at that point, now I've got 3 kids, and I'm thinking, well, they're not reasonable sized cars anyway. They've only got 2 seats or 2.5 seats.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think, listen, why work hard if you can't give yourself some of these pleasures?
Correct.
And people, actually, this is a funny story. So the other day, someone said, "What car are you driving now?" I said, "What day is it?" He goes, "It's Thursday." I said, "Today's the S-Class." He goes, "Really? What did you drive yesterday?" I said, "That's the Porsche." "What are you going to drive over the weekend?" I said, "Well, I mix it up." He goes, "Really?" I go, "No, I'm bullshitting you." He goes, "Why?" I said, "I've got a VW Golf." He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "When I'm driving, I can imagine I'm driving any car."
Yes.
Because the bonnet's the bonnet and you see outside. Yeah. But it's but I love driving.
I think my memory of you is quite good. I remember this story. Last time you were driving a Toyota, right? When I was working for you. I ever did sit in your car.
Which one? I don't know.
13 years ago.
I had,
Okay.
I had a Prado, a Toyota Prado.
I think it was that one. And
Yeah.
you were the one who told me that I can just imagine whatever car I'm in.
Yeah.
If I want to be in a Lambo, now this is a Lambo, vroom, you know?
Lambo was your number one car, right?
Hey, how you know?
I know you. I know
I've
you.
always wanted a Lambo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted an Aventador. Have you seen the new Revuelto?
Yes. But
It's a bit funny,
those cars, the thing is, you know, you need a whole car park on your own. You wouldn't want to park that.
Yeah.
And you know, the other problem with sports cars in Singapore, you cannot go into a lot. Like Great World City is one of the regular places I always go because I go to the cinema, and you can't take a low sports car into that car park.
Yeah.
You're gonna scratch it up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So when I got my Z4, I told myself
It's
not
a beautiful motor, by the way.
thank you.
Well done, bro.
I told myself not to make the same mistake that I had with my previous one, which is to lower the suspension. Yeah, so I'm on stock suspensions now, and I'm happy. I can go anywhere.
Do what you want. No stress, no drama.
Yeah. Sorry. So
Yeah.
when it comes to motivation,
Yeah.
so first it was learning, then it
Yes.
was material ones,
Okay. And now?
freedom and flexibility.
Good man.
Because I think that a piece of wealth that money can't buy is your time, your mental peace,
Yep.
quality time with family and friends. So I yearn for that now.
You know, I'm glad you touched upon that, buddy, because our relationship with money and motivation changes over the years. So, for example, someone said to me not that long ago, they said, "Well, why'd you get up so early and work out?" And I said, "Well, you know, I normally have to drop some of the kids off at school. And you know me, all the years you know me, I'm in early and I work late. Right?
Yes.
I put the hours in, and that will never change. But I just said, I imagine my mum and dad watch me. They're both deceased, but I imagine they're watching me. I imagine my dad saying, 'That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy.'
Yeah.
And then I also want my kids to see. It's very important that my children see me put in the graft in. Sometimes I'll invite them to work out with me. Sometimes I'll be with them. But then the other last thing is self-respect. Because the most important type of respect is self-respect. So
Correct.
like I have rarely ever sat opposite someone in a meeting that could last like 30 seconds in the ring with me. That always makes me smile. Because guess what? I don't have very rude people. When I meet a lot of people in business, that's at the back of my mind if they're an idiot. But fortunately, that never really happens. But I think, in all, I'm partially joking, but I think how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
So if you're a serious guy and you're serious in business and you're serious in your athletic endeavors, it's all the same. It's inextricably linked.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things about working towards freedom and flexibility, right, is it doesn't mean trying to earn as much as possible. It's not. It's how do you automate things and simplify things as much as possible. So going back to Ray Dalio's book, Principles, right? So a business, when you're an entrepreneur, a real entrepreneur is somebody who creates an asset.
Yeah.
Your venture is an asset. So the main thing is, what are your processes that are delivering the value to your customers? You got to get the processes right.
Yeah.
It's got to be as simple and automatic as possible.
Yes.
Then you just fit people in.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's not so easy to achieve freedom and flexibility as compared to achieving monetary wealth. Like, through you just work harder, do more sales, work longer hours, okay, you will get the money. But if you want to continue having that wealth, right, that monetary wealth, and still have flexibility and time, you need to work very differently.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like when I set up my business, I was younger than everyone else. And, I had some goals. I wanted to set up my own business before I was 30. I wanted to become a millionaire before I was 30. I wanted to have my first child before I was 30. And, I look back now, the interesting thing is I don't want to regret things. But as a parent to 3 kids, and my 2 older kids are very sporty, I want to teach them what I learned along the way. But the problem is most kids have to learn by falling down.
Correct.
And they will, most of the boxing that my son learned was not from me.
Oh.
Right? No, we got him a coach because kids don't listen to their parents.
Then how does Talia learn her basketball? I mean,
not me. I
she
can't
plays
play for shit.
Form, right?
Yeah. That's a very interesting thing. That's completely her passion. So she was a track athlete.
Oh yeah.
She's a very good athlete. She's a very good athlete.
I remember. Yeah.
She's of the 3 kids, she's the most athletically gifted. Caden is not actually a natural athlete, and that's why I admire him so much because he puts so much hard work into everything. And then one day she just said, "I want to play basketball," and then Mummy arranged for her to go, and so that's been a great journey. She struggled with, because the thing is, you go from being the best player on the team, which is typically you're the best player on the worst team, and then you're the worst player on the best team.
Yeah.
But I just said to her, even recently, I just said, listen, you have to take your shots. Yeah. You have to hunker down and believe in yourself. I personally never liked team sports because, I like winning. And if you're in a team and it's through no fault of your own. So my average school, so when I played football, when I was 11 and 12, I could only play half matches because I had a very damaged heel for about a year. I had knee issues. And whenever we've played the first half, which I would play, we would be 1-1 or 1-up. And then I would go home early because I lived very far away. Next day I go, did we win? There's no cell phones back then. I'm on 11 and 12. We lost 7-1, right? And I was like, what happened? I'm only one player. And I wasn't even the best player in the team. Vicky was the best player on the team. This guy is brilliant. But after that, I just thought, you know what? And the truth is, there is no individual sport completely because when you're boxing or you're doing athletics, you still have a team that you train with. But I loved if I saw someone, I just thought, it's me against you. And the thing that I loved about running is it's not subjective.
Yes.
Even in boxing, you can have points and the judges can mess with you. But if you're running, it's very clear who's the best on that given day.
It's down to how many seconds.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I love that. But what I've learned in business is how you collaborate with people. So actually, I learned that later on in my career. I didn't learn it from doing team sports. You know what I mean? It's so interesting. I want to ask you some rapid fire questions, right? So if you could have dinner with any business leader, dead or alive, who would it be with?
So Steve Jobs used to have an incredibly bad temper.
Yeah.
And he was an asshole.
Yeah.
I want to have dinner with him because I want to understand from him, not from a book, all right, how he overcame that. Like, how did he become this Zen dude? Because it's a total 180 change from who he's perceived to be, portrayed to be, but in those movies, played by Ashton Kutcher and Michael Fassbender. Yeah, so I just want to understand, how did you suddenly become this Zen guy? Yeah,
it's interesting. There's a few tennis players, by the way, that back in the day that were very aggressive, would throw their racket. Borg, it was during my dad's time, and then he completely became an Iceman and took control of his temper because it was the only way he could win. You can't be emotional all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. I love that answer. What's harder for you, starting a company or scaling one?
scaling one. Yeah, it's very easy to start a company.
Yeah.
You just go online, go to Accra,
Yeah.
pay $15.
Bish, bosh, bang, done.
Yeah, you got a company already.
So if you had to start all over again with the knowledge that you have now, what kind of business would you build?
I would do the same thing.
Good.
Yeah. I think this question has got different variations.
Yeah.
Some people ask, would you do anything differently? Are there any regrets? And the answer is no, I wouldn't do anything differently. I would actually want to relive the whole thing, because the moments that I have with my co-founders, my colleagues, and my customers, right, even though it's difficult, it's very rewarding.
Of course, you look back and you say, yeah, that was seminal.
Yeah.
What has being a business owner taught you about yourself?
I have a bad temper.
I always knew that. Me and you both have bad tempers, right?
Yeah.
But I just think we're very passionate. And what I love about you, and I think I'm similar, is your temper will go up and then come down. Within 5 minutes, is gone.
Correct.
You're focused on the next thing.
Yeah.
But not everyone else can deal with that.
Yeah. So I think what I've learned from that is it's okay to have it's okay to have a temper. You just need to know how to handle that. So like what you just said, right? Go be angry somewhere. Nobody can hear you, nobody can see you. But your job, right, is to get all the emotions down to the objective level.
Yeah.
And then you come back and then you deal with stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I still have a bad temper, but I handle it much better.
Good for you. What's one book or podcast that has changed your mindset over the recent years?
Can I say fuck on this show?
I think you already did, but go on.
Oh damn.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are two sections in this book that that really had an impact on me. The first one, right, is that you see people like Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
They are less than 1% of the population.
Yeah.
So if you are not like them, right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be the hero all the time. It's totally fine to be normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how this has helped me is to manage my expectations on life lah. I think maybe I was a bit too ambitious last time. You get a lot of disappointments, have a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that chapter was very good. And the other one was about chasing suffering. So the act of avoiding suffering itself, right, is actually very painful.
Yeah.
So if you avoid suffering, it's painful.
Yeah.
But if you chase suffering, right, that's when life is less painful. So I know it's a bit contradicting, but that section talks a lot about this logic lah. And that's why I try to do things the hard way.
I'm just curious, did you seek out these books or someone suggested that you read them?
I seek out the books. And
why I mention that is this is what I tell my staff to this day, and I've always told my staff, very few people seek out books. That library behind me, if I said to someone, see that there's over 100 books there, if I told you read those 100 books in the next few years, you're going to start making $1 million a year, how many people will raise their hand and do it? And and everyone will say, yeah, of course, I'll do it.
Bro, there was a book on recruitment or headhunting that I bought when I was interning for you.
Yeah.
And you saw that book and you wanted to buy it off me.
Yeah.
I wonder whether that book is still there or not.
Listen, it would be, because
later we take a look.
I collect books, as you know. But my point being is that everyone, if you tell them there's this formula, you read these books, you do this the next 3 years, you're going to start earning $1 million plus a year. But no one could, because there's no guaranteed formula. But the point is this: if you read all those books and you implement everything that you're learning every day gradually, surely you're going to get better.
Yeah.
And it takes 10 years to get a black belt in business. And in life and in karate, it doesn't happen overnight. So, Outliers, it talks about 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
That's something that people oversee.
Yeah.
What's a quote that you live by?
Oh, I think I mentioned this earlier today. You can't change the world. You can only change yourself.
That's true. Very true. What's your go-to productivity hack?
So I use a lot of Google Calendar because it tells my colleagues that I'm busy today. It tells my colleagues what I'm prioritizing, so they can all follow my lead.
Go through that.
Yeah. So very simple, right? If I talk about launching a new collaboration with a partner, and I just put it on my calendar, automatically my co-founders and my employees, right, they will know.
Yeah.
And they will come and ask me, say, hey boss, what do you want to do with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in short, Google Calendar is
No.
very simple tool, but it works best.
Do you believe more in routine or spontaneity?
Half. I think both are very important.
Good. I like that as an answer.
Super important.
Yeah, because a lot of people, like in sales, people say, "Are you an artist or are you a scientist?" And I just think, these are my core principles in teaching: is rational deductive logic. You have to have a fundamental core. You have to have as the base. But really, to become great at something, to become a master, you have to become an artist.
Correct. Okay, so I just want to talk about this thing that I find interesting. I think a lot of people have extremist mindset.
Yeah.
It's either this end of the spectrum or that end of the spectrum.
And not everything is binary, right?
Yeah. The government is good. The government is bad. Taxes are good. Taxes are bad. I should work hard. I should not work hard. I should go to business school. I should not go to business school. So people like to live at extreme ends of things. But the reality is that the world is not black and white. The world is 50 shades of grey.
Yeah.
I don't mean that sexually, but...
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's very important to be able to be within the spectrum and be able to bounce within the spectrum, not just left and right. Yeah, so this helps to give you a more balanced view of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. If you could master any new skill, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be work-related. It could be sports-related.
Okay. I would love to be able to speak Thai fluently.
Okay. You're learning?
I suck at languages. Yeah. So the reason why I want to be good at Thai...
Shall I tell you how you're going to learn, if you want to learn?
How?
If your wife doesn't make love to you until you learn. Mate, trust me, 1 week later...
Confirm.
Huh?
Expert already.
Okay.
1 week, yeah. I just want to be able to have a fruitful conversation with her mum.
That is lovely. I
Yeah.
like that. I love that. What's your favorite Asian dish to eat that is healthy?
Okay, so I like laksa.
Okay.
Specifically the laksa sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, so how we do it at Yummy Bros is that we use all the trimmed coconut milk, all the low-fat stuff. We take a lot of the sodium away by using things like K-salt.
Okay.
So they remove the sodium. They put in this thing called potassium instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's less shitty for the heart lah.
Okay.
I also like our salted egg chicken.
Okay.
So typically salted egg chicken is...
I haven't tried it. I'll have to try that one.
You try that?
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that one.
So typically people deep fry salted egg chicken, right?
Yeah.
But we don't. We bake it and then we coat it with our salted egg sauce.
Okay.
But we don't use butter.
Okay.
We realized that cream cheese is a very good substitute for butter. It's
Nice.
got half the fat, which means half the calories lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love our burgers.
That's
Yeah,
one of
we
your
got cheese
favorites.
burgers. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of sport. What's harder, basketball, Muay Thai, bodybuilding, and I'm going to throw in business?
I think it will be between basketball or business.
Tell me.
I think basketball is more challenging for me because you can get hurt and all that kind of stuff, right? And the concepts are just so much different, and you got to be very fast in making a decision.
Yeah.
Like once you're on the court, you need to read and react, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to do it within like half a second.
Yes.
Whereas in business, you can still think about things.
That's true.
You can discuss.
That's the thing about sport.
Yeah.
That's the thing about sport.
Timeouts are only 30 seconds.
Yeah.
In basketball, but
Yeah.
in business, you can take like 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So
True.
basketball.
Favorite top 3 basketballers of all time?
Oh.
Steph in there?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so difficult to dislike Steph, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I like watching him play, because it's so entertaining.
Yeah.
Shooting from anywhere on the
He's
court.
changed the game, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, MJ.
Yeah.
Because greatness is just hard to ignore.
Yeah.
And of course, the late Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Because he showed me what hustle really means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mamba mentality.
All the way, mate.
Yeah.
Let's just talk a little bit about you at this point in your journey. Motivation or discipline? What is more important?
So when I feel that my day is stale or when I'm not doing anything new, then I'll go to motivation to help me get started on things. Then after that, I need to bring the discipline in so that I see things to completion. I need both.
Good. Last couple of questions. What's the one word people would describe you at work in terms of your leadership style?
Candid.
Candid.
Yeah.
I like that. I'd agree with that. And what's the one business that you admire outside of your industry when you look at it?
So it's not a food business, but it's still a fitness business. It's actually Gymshark. It's an apparel brand.
I mean, it's an amazing, what they've built is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Gymshark guy. I've seen what you wear.
Yeah. And I admire them because they also had a very ghetto start like us.
Yeah.
Started in his backyard.
Yeah.
He was doing the silk screen printing of the stringers.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah. And he also used an outsourced model.
Yeah.
Somebody else manufactured all the clothes for him. So it's quite similar to how Yummy Bro started. It's just that he can sell globally and I can't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Gerald, it's been a pleasure. I'm so glad that we're great friends after all these years. And I'm very proud of you, man. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for today.
You had a part to play with it also.
I hope so. I hope so. Being part of your journey, that's all I look for. Do you know what I mean? All right, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.